you know, I'm going to ask you a question. Did you know that God is a waymaker? Did you know that God is in the business of making ways in your life, making ways for you to not only come out of tough times, come out of troubles, come out of hardship? God is in the business of making ways for you to find Him, to lead you to Him. Of course, the biggest way that He created was through Jesus on the cross, dying for our sins. That was the ultimate way that was given to us. But I want to share with you some examples about how truly awesome it is how God makes ways in our life. He is a ultimate way maker. And I want to give you some examples of that as well as some personal examples, okay? So here's a couple of things I want to share with you. First of all, in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, Old Testament story, one of the great stories. It talks about Moses. You need to go back if you haven't read that in a while. Go back and read the story of Moses. Very good. In Exodus 14, we see Moses leading the children of Israel out away from Pharaoh and the Egyptian army, and they're leading out, going to the promised land. And during that point, they come across this moment where they come to the Red Sea, and we pick up in Exodus 14 verses 21 and 22. This is what happened. It says, Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and all that night the Lord drove the sea back with a strong east wind and turned it into dry land. The waters were divided, and the Israelites went through the sea on dry ground with a wall of water on their right and on their left. God made a way for the children of Israel, Moses, to escape not only Pharaoh's army, but to cross over into the promised land. And that was an incredible example of how God is a way maker. Here's another example that took place. I'm going to go to the New Testament, okay? The New Testament. This is what happens. Jesus and his disciples, they're setting out to go across the other side of this lake in Luke chapter 8. And this is a story I've shared before. I've preached before about it. But Jesus is on the boat with the disciples. The disciples, most of them were fishermen. They were used to being out on the water. But at this particular night, there was something that happened. It said, and so we pick up in Luke chapter 8. We're going to look at verse 24 in just a second. But what happens is Jesus is sleeping on the boat. The disciples are on the boat. This massive storm comes out of nowhere, rocking them, rolling them, causing them to scream like a bunch of little girls. They're all messed up. They're all discombobulated. They said that they were literally terrified. And so they actually woke Jesus up. And then this is what happened. We see Jesus making a way. This is what happened. He got up in verse 24. He got up and rebuked the wind and the raging waters. The storm subsided and all was calm. So they were worried they were going to be able to get across this lake with this storm going on. They didn't think they were going to have a chance. They were scared to death. Oh, by the way, they forgot that Jesus himself is on the boat with him. Okay, hello. One of those moments you scratch your head about the disciples, right? And then Jesus calms the storm, and they're able to get to the other side. God made a way. And the thing about that stands out to me sometimes, even with the children of Israel back in the Old Testament story, is that there are times in your life when you literally feel like crying out to God. God, where are you? God, when can you help me out? God, what are you doing in my life? And you know what? That's okay. The children of Israel cried out to God for many, many years. The disciples, they cried out. They were terrified. They were scared. They didn't know what was going to happen. All the time forgetting that God is with them. God would never leave them. God would never forsake them. God is with them. And God's working on creating a way for them to get through to the other side. Just like for you and for me, God is in the business of making ways. Right now, whether you realize or not, God is working on something in your life to make a way for you. I don't know if it's for your career choice, if it's for a college choice, it might be for a people choice of the friends or the boyfriend or the girlfriend or whatever the case may be. It could be as simple as that. But God is in the business of making ways. And not only that, it gives us an opportunity to seek him out. And so that's the thing that stands out to me. And I can tell you for a fact a couple of examples real quick of how God made way in my life. God made a way for me to meet my wife, Crystal. I've talked about this many times, but God made a way in a time when I was very alone, depressed, didn't have a lot of friends. I was kind of in a very, very bad spot. And kind of God knew my heart already. He knew what I wanted, but I kind of changed the way I prayed. And next thing I know, here comes Crystal in my life. and we end up becoming close and start dating. And next thing you know, we get married, and God made a way for me to find my soulmate for life. Here's another thing that happens. God made a way for us to go into student ministry. I didn't think this was going to be what I was going to do in my life, but God made a way. He put me in the right church at the right time to be around the right group of youth to kind of get into the idea and the concepts of what student ministry was. He put the right guy around me to kind of encourage me and push me forward. The church gave me the opportunities to lead, to give me the opportunities to teach. He made a way. God made a way for that to happen. God made a way for me to go to Ware Shoals, to be a part of First Baptist Church, and to be with my brother Leon Jones. Leon Jones calls me up to come and do an interview, and welcomed me in with open arms, and was there to be a mentor and an encourager and an educator, and helping me out and growing in what ministry life is about. Because when you first go into ministry, it can be very intimidating. And if you don't have tough skin, if you don't have the ability to deal and work with people, it is very, very tough, and it can eat you alive. And it's put a lot of good people out to pasture pretty quick who've tried to go down the ministry pathway. So I'm thankful for Leon and the way that God made for us to come together at Ware Shoals. God made a way for me to come to Abbeville, to be at Grace. My friendship with Jason, relationship we've already had, but conversations came back into fold, and we were able to come together, and he wanted me to come and be here, and I've been praying for the opportunity to minister in Abbeville, and this was the opportunity. And so it opened up the way, and God has blessed us here. Soon be 9 years now that I've been here, and seen so many great things happen, so many kids that I've got a chance to work with. That happens because God made a way. He opened the door, he made a way. And so those are a couple of examples. Those are a couple of examples about what God did in my life, making a way. What about your life? You're thinking, when are things going to get back to normal? When are things going to change? When are people going to stop being mean to each other? What's got to happen? God, where are you at? It's okay to cry out to God. It's okay to seek God out. It's okay to sit there and say, okay, I have a problem financially. I have a problem emotionally. I have a problem physically, mentally. And maybe even we have a problem spiritually, which I think a lot of people in our country do right now. But God can make a way. God can make a way, and he can provide a way for us. Not only to come to know him because of Jesus and what Jesus did on the cross for us, and because Jesus is there for us to have a strong, invested relationship with, but also going forward, God can make a way if we trust him. We seek him out every day, not just when we really need it, but every day. God can be working on something for our good. He can be working on something that's going to help us out. So I want to encourage you with that. And since we're talking about God being a waymaker, how cool would it be just to share with you the very song that this Bible study kind of is based off of, and that is the song Waymaker, because this song has really spoke to me and encouraged me a lot. And there's two lines in it that I want you to think about when you listen to the song. It says, even when I don't see it, he's working. Even when I don't feel it, he's working. He never stops. He never stops working. Our praise team is going to share this song with you at this time. I hope it blesses you. I hope to talk to you soon. Stay safe and stay strong.